what other tips, I guess, would you pass along to listeners when they're going out mushroom hunting? Anything they need to watch for as far as like safety or places to avoid? Anything like
Yeah.
poisonous weeds?
Yeah, definitely safety is always an issue whenever you're out mushroom hunting. Number one, make sure if you're going on private lands that you have an invite to the private lands, that you've like okayed it. There's obvious safety concerns if you're on private land and you don't have the okay. You know, yeah, number one, yeah, just for your own personal safety, don't go somewhere you're not invited. Then, always considering the like location of where you're finding mushrooms is really important. If you're looking somewhere where there's any like potential like chemical runoff, pesticide runoff, those places should be avoided. Any place like along roadways where there could be any kind of heavy metal contamination in the soil, those places should be avoided because mushrooms are really good at taking up heavy metals. And then, if you eat the mushrooms that have taken up said heavy metals, you're going to get sick, and that's not good. Um, and then, yeah, so like avoid roadways, avoid places near golf courses, or again, anywhere where there's, potential runoff. Um, I'm not too worried about weeds. I'm not the best at like weed ID, but always like be careful, because obviously there are weeds that can cause uh, nothing wrong with the mushroom, but if you touch it, like that could be an issue. Or if the mushroom is touching that weed, it's possible that some of the compounds from that weed could be on that mushroom. So again, like cleaning important, and thorough cooking. Thorough cooking always very important when dealing with wild harvested mushrooms. I believe the USDA recommends cooking to a temperature of 135, I believe, Fahrenheit for safety. And then, what was the other one that just escaped me? Cooking. Oh, and like storage. As you're like collecting mushrooms, don't use plastic. Use like mesh baskets, something that's breathable. You want to avoid anything that could encourage moisture accumulation. The more moisture you accumulate, the more prone what you pick is going to be to decay. Make sure you're storing what you pick in a cool, dry place out of the sun as quickly as you can after picking it, and avoid picking overripe specimen. It can be that can be a tough one. It's like any morel you see, you want to pick it, but like there are definitely morels that I've seen that are past their prime that, well, and I mean, depending on the state of it, maybe you could cut out if there's like bits of the flesh that seem to be deteriorating, maybe you could cut that out. But like, I would be very careful about eating anything that looks like it is past its prime, because whenever decay has set in, you're going to have more openings for things that could make you sick. And always consume with like some amount of caution. If you find black morels, don't consume them with alcohol. And I would just say avoid overall overconsumption in a day. I was reading a paper from, I think, France, that talked about an individual that got sick from eating morels. But it said that, and I had to do the conversion, but he'd eaten like a pound and a half of
Oh,
morels. And I was like, what? But it was like over 3 meals, but like back to back. So like, there's like always like too much of a good thing, right? Like if I was going to sit down and eat like a pound and a half of carrots, I wouldn't feel well either. So just, consumption, or consume responsibly, make sure you're cooking things responsibly, storing them responsibly, all of that.